if that brand is kind of got a good product that's gonna work, our job is just to get it in front of that customer.
Does a smaller brand simply have to accept a higher CPA to compete with RedBrain?
Depends how competitive the category is. So, but again, it comes down to their conversion rate. And I think, we built a Shopify plugin 2.5 years ago to essentially kind of try and help some of these brands. And what you find is they're not doing anything for conversion rate. They're not doing anything for bundling. They're not doing anything for average order value. So they're kind of turning it on and hoping that it's the kind of silver bullet. And I think that's the thing. If that brand is kind of got a good product that's gonna work, our job is just to get it in front of that customer. So we can optimize the title for the right terms to get it in its area. So if there's demand for that set of products, we'll get them in front. Then it's just, essentially what they're doing on their side. So yeah, I think there's, bigger brands do generally do better because there's brand recognition, but smaller brands can work. And again, that metric is because the CPCs might be higher in that category, which is where their CPA is the thing that is going to allow us to kind of push them.
Does web traffic affect things at all?
Volume of web traffic. I think so, yeah, because that's showing the demand a lot of the time and often if people don't have a lot of traffic, they're not doing a lot of the other stuff on site. And I think that's the bit that's often missing. But you can have stuff that's got low, web traffic, and we start driving more of the traffic, and it converts really, really well. Yeah. So it's a good indicator to look at. To go, okay, are you then not running your own Google activity, or are you not? Where's your traffic coming from? And I think a lot of the time you get brands that do really well on Meta, and kind of they go, oh, we'll just switch this on a little. But it's that difference in, Google is an intent platform, Meta is a disruption platform. So, people on Instagram are scrolling, they're not expecting to get what they get. And it's like, oh, that's interesting. And the creative captures them, whereas they've got to actually be typing for that product for the intent to appear in Google.